Welcome back to our next video segment from the Blended Learning Project. We're starting here again with the wiki, the Blended Learning Wiki project.wikispaces.com. The Blended Learning Modules page. The easiest way to find this page is to go to the right-hand menu bar and look where it says Blended Learning Modules and click on that link. Again, there's a table of contents here for you to help in your navigation where we look at the models. There's some images that may be helpful in looking at how does blended learning work, some tips for you, an infographic, one of our more powerful newer tools to use, some articles and some tools. Apparently we're looking at images twice, but maybe I'll get that fixed before this afternoon comes. So let's look at blended learning modules. What blended learning is, and maybe our images will help us out with that, is a combination of face-to-face learning, online learning, and that together makes blended learning. The ability to self-pace, to have the students direct their own instruction is a part of that. Online collaboration is absolutely essential in this. Just because a student is working online doesn't mean they're working alone. We have options of mobile learning, classroom learning technologies, online, social networks, websites, gaming, interactive whiteboards, iPads, tablets, handheld computing. There are a lot of different modes and methods that blended learning can and does partake in, and that's important to consider here or to think about as you go through this. You don't have to look with blended learning at just one means of doing something. Look at what your learners' needs are, look at what resources you have available, what resources they have available, and then let's design your environment from there. As far as models go, there are two main models. The first model is a face-to-face model, and that's really where the teacher still drives instruction, but that online method is used to supplement or remediate meaning for kids who need some more help, or gifted kids who could go a little bit further, for things like RTI, or for things for students who have IEPs or 504s. It's a very nice tool for that, or at least, if nothing else, it's a state place to begin. And then the more well-defined blended model would be a rotation model. And that's where students move back and forth between the online computing, the technology, the e-technology, and the classroom time with the instructor. What's key to know in both of these models is that the instructor is not lost. They do not become a substitute. They are not replaceable in these environments, but they take the role as more of a facilitator then, letting the students drive their instruction and their needs and letting you respond individually to those needs. What have we called that individual response in the past? We've called that individual response differentiation. And this is a 21st century means of doing that. Are there other models of blended learning? Yes, but then the next step up in models start looking more and more like a flipped classroom itself. And at this point in time, let's try to stay just with the blended model. What suggestions do I have for you? First, start with resources, creating them. Use them to supplement and remediate instruction in the classroom. That gives you time to practice creating materials, practice implementing them, teaching the students how to use them, getting them accustomed to those resources as being part of the norm. Then take the next step in blending a lesson. After that, blend a complete unit. And at each stage along the way, get feedback from the students. What's working, what's not. Hold them accountable for their online activities. Don't let them just go and play a bunch of games online. The games can be good learning experiences, but there still needs to be an accountability piece. And these are steps to work through along the way there. Then when you're ready, and I can't say it any other way, but you'll know when you're ready to jump in to a class, then jump in. But don't try to start with an entire class or an entire program. You'll be pulling your hair out, you will be exhausted, you will be lost, and you'll be frustrated. So don't try to do that. Okay, let's end this portion or this video on the models of blended learning. And I'd like you also to consider looking at the PowerPoint, the slide rocket, because that talks a little bit more about the modes, the implementation, and differentiation itself. And then we'll be back to the next step, curating tools.